frozen in place, and if it has any traffic on it at all, it becomes a chore to get it off the road. But I think the fact that we were able to keep everything open and passable, it was a success. A snow that, like the one, like over in the Fredericksburg area, they were calling it the perfect storm. We were dealing with that same situation here, but we just didn't lose any of the roadways from it. So I think it was a success and got everything open back up, and now we're just dealing with the debris, so.
Okay, any other supervisors with comments or concerns for Scott?
Well, Scott and I we discussed Levi Road and Duck Twin Bridges.
Yes, sir, and I'm gonna reach out to Sarah tomorrow on the, I think Trey was gonna get me a location on the S-curve.
S-curve.
Is that?
The gentleman that ran out the road hit the ditch line because it's real curvy and it's narrow.
Did you send that? I must have missed it, so I'll check my email
And then the
for it.
tree line in front of Levi Baptist Church, the owners of that property willing to allow you guys to.
Yeah, so, and I'll get out there and take a look at that here in the next few days.
And then, of course, Epps Lane.
Yes, sir.
Off
Yeah,
Mills
doing the
Creek.
ditching work on Epps Lane. We're gonna
Right.
get that after we get the debris up.
So it's three projects. Levi, the S-curve right at the front, in front of the church, then Twin Bridges with a S-curve with the curves, after you pass that, trailer park. He did. He told me he looked it up. And then again,
Okay,
Epps-
I may
Epps-
already have it. If so, I apologize.
Epps Lane off of Mills Creek.
Yeah, I think our equipment, we might already have some equipment down there. We're gonna get the ditch work done on Epps Lane next, right after the debris.
Did someone pick up trash on 15? I saw some bags. It looked like someone picked up trash.
I think that was the Adopt a Highway section. There
Okay.
was, I forget whether it's Longwood or Hampton Sydney has a section adopted. I think that's what those
Okay.
bags were from.
Okay.
Scott, there's a few places on the 22 road that's just sunk in. I don't know whether the culvert's given away, but a
Okay,
little asphalt or something maybe to build that back up.
okay.
A few places through there. It's kind of on the prospect end of it.
Okay, we'll take a look at that.
Yeah.
Supervisor Emmert, do you have any
Yes,
concerns?
I would agree with Lou. I travel that road quite a bit, and that needs to be looked at. And we're getting a lot of questions just about when the debris removal. There's a lot of trees that broke off that are pretty close to the edge of the road, just a concern of the citizens.
Okay, yeah, what we normally do right after the snow, we go into what we call protective measures, and we just start cutting things back, and then we follow back up and gather it up, so that everything should be gone in the next 2 weeks.
Supervisor Jones or Supervisor Booth, concerned? Okay. Supervisor Jones?
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, board.
Appreciate that.
Thanks, Scott.
Next is the time for our first public hearing, signing agreement CEP Solar LLC, and I've just been informed that Mr. Love is not here, so Mr. Stanley will take over that.
Madam Chair, members of the board, the county has been in negotiations with CP Solar LLC for a siting agreement related to construction and operation of a 25-megawatt solar energy facility on tax map parcel 7953 and 92A31, containing a total of 304.6 acres plus or minus. The property is zoned A1 Agricultural Conservation. It's located on Rice Creek Road in Rice, Virginia. On your dais is a corrected copy of the siting agreement, so please refer to that one. It should be there separately on your dais. And if you don't have one in front of you, let one of us know and we'll find it. Pursuant to section 15.2-2316.8B of the Code of Virginia, the host locality shall schedule a public hearing pursuant to subsection A of 15.22204 for the purpose of consideration of such citing agreement. If a majority of a quorum of the members of the governing body present at such public hearing approve of such citing agreement, the citing agreement shall be executed by the signatures of the chief executive officer of the host locality and the applicant or the applicant's authorized agent. The citing agreement shall continue in effect until it is amended, revoked, or suspended. The public hearing notice was published in December 29, 2021, and January 5, 2022 editions of the Farmville Herald. And a list of adjoining property owners and the sample letter sent to each can be found in your packet. Here tonight, representing the county is Vivian Giles from Sands Anderson. They have extensive experience in working with these citing agreements. That's why we asked them to assist us in review and development of the citing agreement. In addition, we have Mr. Tyson Utt representing CP Solar, and I imagine he'll speak during the public hearing. In the citing agreement, and I think, Vivian, you could probably give some more detail, but essentially, it provides some protections for the county, provides some protections for the company as well, but it really helps to spell out the exact, we've adopted the revenue sharing ordinance, it spells that out. It also locks it in, so in case the General Assembly makes some adjustments to the revenue sharing agreement. And the other thing is the upfront capital investment that they're going to be making. And if you look on page 11, you'll see there that voluntary payment that starts off as $200,000. That's funding that will come to the county that can assist with capital improvements and other things that's outlined in the agreement. Vivian, anything else I'm missing that you would like to highlight the agreement covers?
No, that's really, in a nutshell, the real purpose for the citing agreement, and when that legislation was passed in the 2020 General Assembly, the objective was to allow for investment in the community, upfront payments, however you want to say it. The revenue share ordinance was something separate, but prior to that, the legislation in 2020 to enable citing agreements, there was no authority. And I got a lot of flack and kind of pushback on that, but there was really no authority for localities to enter into these agreements. So this laid the foundation for that and enabled these agreements to come into place. So and they have proven, in my opinion, extremely productive and good for localities, because just like real estate developments, every project is different. So this allows for some flexibilities, and for the county, the payment, truly. And as Mr. Stanley pointed out, the other piece, and we talked about this a little bit when I was here last month, I believe, but is that if the revenue share ordinance changes, there's a threshold built in, so that if the state were to decrease the amount that you could charge or assess is the term I should say, annually for the revenue share, this agreement establishes the threshold at what that amount is now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Lastly, I just want to emphasize, so the last month's meeting, the board approved the special use permit. Tonight, it's the citing agreement, so for the public speaking, just want to emphasize, the site's already been approved as far as the permit. Now we're talking about basically the benefits to the community, and those are included in the site agreement.
Would anybody else like to speak toward that? Or that's it?
Good evening, Madam Chair and members of the board. My name is Tyson Utt. I'm with Commonwealth Energy Partners and CEP Solar. And again, as was mentioned by Mr. Stanley, the project had gone through the siting process and been approved last month. And simply just wanted to note that we are here and happy to answer any questions that may be regarding the siting agreement. But as Vivian pointed out, we do see how, these projects are really intended to provide both the